Your generation, the millennials, have been screwed. I mean, big time, big time. This corona crisis, as I call it, it's a smokescreen for something that's been going on for years. So today, when I look at the corona crisis, but more the financial crisis, it's really, really horrifying because the financial crisis started back in 1971. Because the corona crisis, while serious, the biggest crisis is the financial crisis. And I mean, if you understand how money is created, money is credit and debt. That's all it is. Credit, debt, and taxes. That's what money really is. But they don't teach you that in school. So today, the reason the world economy is crashing goes all the way back to 71. But what happened in 71, they could just make fake money and they can keep printing fake money. And this is the US dollar. The US can keep printing fake money for a number of years yet. And the only way they could keep the economy expanding, they had to find people stupid enough to get into debt, to give them credit cards and all this and say, well, you give auto loans. But I think the most dastardly thing for your generation was in 2009, when President Obama went to the banks and said, look, we need to get the students more into debt under the guise of you need to get a good education. The millennial generation was given the most powerful single tool ever given to any generation. And what are you guys using this thing for? To Twitter, to, social? I don't know what you guys do with this thing, but I love this thing. I mean, I'm on YouTube constantly. I find the best teachers in the world out there. I mean, I don't know why anybody would go to college because the best teachers are on YouTube for free. I learned, and it's not that the teacher is the best. The thing I love about YouTube is I can get one person says X and the guy that says no, that's Y. And so I'll listen to both sides. But that's where your intelligence grows because both sides have a point of view. And I listen to both sides. But if you're in college, you gotta listen to one idiot who's boring. I didn't want to become an employee. Every time the teacher says, go to school and get a job. And I said, but I don't want a job. And it didn't make sense to me because I had a rich dad. My poor dad was an employee. He was a good one. But personally, I didn't want to become an employee. But your generation now must. That's the difference. There's only 4.5 trillion in base money, M1. There's about 225 trillion in debt. That means there's only 4.5 trillion for 225 trillion in debt. The machine's going to stop soon. I don't know when, but it's going to stop. And when it comes to a stop, that's when my gold, silver, and Bitcoin will go through the roof. But I am prepared for it. Anyway, so your generation has the most powerful tool ever created. And the best teachers are on YouTube and they're free. And it's important to go to school if you're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, accountant, something like that. But to be rich, you don't have to go to school. I haven't drank the Kool-Aid of go to school and get my master's degree. I didn't do that one. Social distancing and shutting down businesses is a violation of the First Amendment. So our rights are being ripped out of our hands right now. And that disturbs me. Freedom of speech is gone. Some of the nasty threats I've gotten. You better watch out, because I criticize vaccines. And I've studied vaccines. I kind of know what they do. The primary reasons vaccines are so profitable is because when they brought them out, you cannot be sued. The drug big pharma cannot be sued for any failure of the vaccine. So the vaccine kills 10 million people. The drug company, ABC, big pharma, it can't be sued. And then what they do is they produce the vaccine and then they get somebody like Trump or Obama to push it. That's what I know. And I was told, don't do that anymore because we'll kill you. And my friend who was a doctor says they will. So that's what concerns me. I'm in for the freedom of speech. And I agree that people can disagree. Everybody has their own opinion. But to threaten somebody with death and all that, that's a little too far. The game of money is so complex. And that's what happened in 1971. They took the dollar off the gold standard. People started playing games, and now the game is out of control. How many times have I failed? I get screwed and blued and tattooed just like everybody else. But each crash makes me stronger, anti-fragile.
Yeah.
And that's where it starts. And everybody has that in them. Even if they didn't go to a great school, we all have a spirit, we all have a soul, we all have dreams, we all have desires. But it takes time. It's like Tiger Woods didn't become the greatest golfer on earth taking one golf lesson. You know what I mean? Those few words, I'm not interested in money, or I don't want to be rich, screws you for the rest of your life. But right now, when you're sitting at home, is a good time to reevaluate life. So if I could show you this is book number 2 in the Rich Dad series. You know, it's E stands for employee, S, B, and I. E is employee. That little voice in your head is saying, I'm looking for a good, nice, safe, secure job with benefits. If you don't change those thoughts, you stay here. Nothing wrong with it, except in the future. Because as you know, technology or AI and all this stuff is going to make these guys less and less important. Or you can be an S and you can say, well, if you don't want it done right, do it by yourself. So the definition of an S is they're like a doctor. They can perform their job on their own. Or an accountant can do their job on their own. Or a tech person can do their job, or an auto mechanic can do it. There's nothing wrong with it. But it limits them to this, and these guys pay the highest of all taxes. So most people, when they say, I want to start a business, they're saying, I want to start a business, they go here. The trouble with this side is they're working for money, and money is taxed. So as long as I don't have a job, I'm not taxed. And B is big business. That's Bezos and Gates and Zuckerberg. And I is insider. So if you're sitting at home right now, be thinking, what do I have to do to make these changes? Like I've said all the time here, you can be in more than one place. I'm actually all for. You know, sometimes I'm working for my own company. I'm an employee of my own company. Right now I'm working on a project, so I'm self-employed. I'm doing it by myself. As an investor, I'm always investing in big businesses. I don't invest in small businesses. I made too many mistakes. So all you losers out there going, oh, I tried to make money, but I lost and all that. You're a loser. You know, do it again. So it turned out to be being anti-fragile, which comes from Nassim Taleb, you know, anti-fragile. There's fragile, which is snowflakes and what our colleges are putting out today, snowflakes. Then you have robust, which is like a rock. And a lot of people are rocks today. You pound on them, nothing changes. But an anti-fragile person, when something bad happens, they come back stronger.